What up? I'm always trying to think of other ways to start off the video, because I feel like, and maybe it's just because my daughter watches a lot of people on YouTube too. I feel like a lot of people always start off their videos, "What's up, YouTube?" Da 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 da. And I just can't be that excited first thing in the morning, I don't think. Anyways, oh boy, this is gonna be hard. Hold up. Gathering firewood. It is, it's not too cold this morning, actually. Maybe I shouldn't do a fire. I probably should have checked I did check the weather yesterday. It's not supposed to be very warm. Let's just get the fire going. I'll just make a little one. I'm starting a fire, and I've been trying to be very conscious about how much I use, because that's all I have right now, and I have a little pile. Come on, camera. There, just right in between the trailer, right there where my glasses are. That needs split. But the first pile I showed you, it's split and ready to go. And between what's ready to go, that probably lasts about a month-ish. I didn't think this through. And with what I have to split, I might get maybe almost another month. There's really not much there, probably about 2 weeks. You see these big logs and this big pile of wood, and you're like, oh yeah, it's great. But when you heat your house with wood, it's only wood. Once it gets, where it's consistently in the 40s or lower, the fire is just constantly going. So there's never like waking up and starting a fire. It's just kind of like you push like I could probably show you, but you wake up in the morning and there's it's gonna be cool. Actually, maybe, I don't know. Every time I'm like, no one's interested in this stuff, but then I'm like, I just been doing these raw, uncut vlogs, and it's like everyone is like, dude, you're an interesting guy. So I don't know. But I've been doing this for so long, and I follow people who like homestead and stuff, like, or, do more stuff like this, but, really, really depend on it, not just to save money, but to like actually survive and like cook food. I understand it and what they're saying, but then I like go into the comments, like one thing I see all the time when people like heat their house with wood and stuff, people are always like, man, I mean, that's great, but like you're cutting down so many trees. And it's like, you don't cut down trees to get firewood. You get trees that are already down. You don't want to spend all that time cutting firewood down or trees down to get firewood. And when they're live, they take way longer to dry enough to even use it. So I think there's a lot of things that I know just from doing it, but if you don't do that, you wouldn't know, right? So, yeah, so like in the morning, like I put wood on the fire last night. So right now it looks like it's full of ash. But what I'm gonna do, it's gonna be hard to do with one hand here. All that ash you saw, I'm gonna start scooping it out. And as I scoop it out, see those coals that are glowing? I try and leave most of those in. I'm putting the ash in my ash bucket. As you start scooping it out, see I'm finding a bunch of coals that are still lit. I didn't completely fill the wood burner up last night either. So a lot of times, like when it's real cold and I put big honking logs in there that are, the size of Rhode Island, and fill this sucker up, and I wake up, there are tons of coals. A lot of times I don't even have to shovel out the ash to find them all. So anyways, I do this, and see, as I clean out the ash, I don't know if you can tell or not, but Just take my word for it. Source, trust me, bro. There's a bunch more room in there now, so I can fit a little more wood. Then I have less ash to sift through later. But then I end up with this pile of coals, and I put them in this corner here. Other people do it different, I'm sure. But I do it this way, so the pile of coals is right here in this corner. So when I shut the door, I can just kind of crack it shut. And let's see if I can get this on camera. So see, the coals are glowing now. If I pull the door back, see they're not glowing as much. But when I just keep the door a little bit cracked, I find the sweet spot, like right there. See how they're glowing and kind of... that's because the air... I could probably get this a little bit better. It's just like when you start a fire, like a campfire or something, you know, out in your backyard in the fire pit. You're trying to get the fire going again or something, you blow on the coals and they start glowing, and then eventually, you know, catch the other stuff on fire or something. When you have a wood burner like this, the whole thing is contained. And the air, when I keep the door cracked open, it's rushing in past those coals. So it's just like someone's constantly blowing on it. And that's what you want, because then I don't have to start a fire. So what I do is I get my coals like that. Yeah, I mean, it's a little more work than just, you know, your thermostat automatically turning on. But for the most part, it's pretty automatic. Because like right now I'm making content, or, you know, if I'm not making content, I'll be doing anything, I don't know, getting the studio up and running, warming up, drinking my coffee. I forgot some kindling though. It's like when I'm cutting wood and splitting it and stuff, especially after it starts drying, a lot of the bark starts flaking off, and I'll have a bucket like of kindling. And comes in handy when you're trying to start a fire. Usually bark is not a good fire starter, but I try and keep all my firewood in a really dry place, and then it flakes off. And when it flakes off, I put it in a bucket that's in a dry place, and then it becomes great kindling. It's usually not good. It's great when it's dry, but it's not usually dry because it's basically a sponge. So, but you could hear it cracking like that. That means it's dry. It's good to go. So I keep a ton of it around. And let's see. This probably seems more complicated than it actually is, just because I'm trying to hold the camera and all that. But bark is usually good, and then I always get a bunch of little split pieces like this. These just come naturally from splitting firewood, because it just splits off. And instead of just, you know, throwing it away, save it in a bucket, and I will show you why. So I put the coals in a pile, and hang on. So you see I still got them in a pile. Can't really see them. They're starting to die off a little bit. So yeah, there you go. Now you can see them. So on top of those coals, I'll put the bark. The bark burns it'll ignite much easier. So I put that right on top. Put some of those sticks, put some of those sticks and thicker things on top. And just like you would start a campfire, you know, you start with paper and then maybe some cardboard, then some light sticks. And, you know, you just keep putting thicker and thicker stuff on it until it, you know, because you want it to catch. Look, it's already, I don't think it's going to catch. Smoking already. Oh, yeah, it looks like it's coming through a little bit. So it's already smoking. So once I crack the door a little bit, those coals, all that air is going to be rushing past the coals, and it's just going to ignite. It's going to be automatic. And a lot of times what happens, too, it's like you'll be sitting there, sitting here and doing whatever, and all of a sudden it just goes woof, because it'll just pop. Sometimes what I'll do, like now there was a bunch of ash, I'll get my torch, Just kind of help it along a little bit. See, flame already kind of started. Didn't take much at all. But you know, if it was freezing cold and we got snowed in and it was out of propane or something like that, I just keep this door cracked open. See, the coals are glowing again. There's a flame going. It's getting bigger. But I just leave it like cracked like that. I do want to mention this is in my basement, so it's on a hearth pad. I might seem redundant. I put it there because I wasn't sure if we were going to carpet down here or not. But the floor is cement. There's nothing around here that can get burned. It's all to code anyways. Even when this was in our living room and we had carpet, I would do this, but I also stay nearby because you got to remember, it is fire. But I know when I was installing that thing, I like posted some pictures of how I installed it or whatever. And like, you know, I mean, I appreciate people's concern, but like everybody was commenting like, you shouldn't do this or that. But in the picture, the angle it looks a lot further now. But there's an outlet right back there, an electrical outlet. A ton of people were commenting on that, like, can't have it that close. I'm like, guys, it came with instructions. I read the instructions. It's my second time installing a wood burner, and I don't want my house to burn down either. So trust me, I appreciate the concern, but I am following. It's probably above code, which actually I think it is for the most part. Now don't quote me on all these numbers, and every wood burner is different because I put a wood burner out in my shop, and the instructions for that, I got that one for free. I had to Google the instructions, but it was different. It had different clearances and stuff. So you have to be so far away from a combustible wall, and it has a recommendation of being so far away from a non-combustible wall. So, for instance, this light gray wall is drywall, typical drywall. This is actually cement board. So this is considered non-combustible. Drywall is considered combustible, although I feel like I've tried to burn drywall before and it doesn't burn easy. So, anyways, you had to be in this instruction booklet, I think it was 15 inches from a combustible wall. I'm 15 inches from a non-combustible wall. And like, this is a single wall piece of chimney. You have to be so far from a combustible wall or ceiling. This is cement board. I just painted it to make it look like drywall. Eventually, I'm going to have this section here. I had different plans, but I kind of overlooked something. This is also going to be, this is actually cinder block, so I could just paint it and leave it like this. But I want to kind of, I haven't really quite figured it, but I still got to finish this corner, right? So the way it passes through things, at our old place, we had big like 10-foot ceilings, and this single wall chimney just went straight up through the ceiling. We had a special adapter to adapt it to, we went single wall up to the adapter, because that single wall will throw off heat. So we get a little more extra heat out of it, and it's cheaper. But then when it goes into the ceiling, it goes into the adapter that adapts it to, lets it pass through combustible materials, and then it adapts it to triple wall or double wall chimney, which basically, so the instructions for the double wall chimney, it has to be, it can actually touch non-combustible materials. So when that wood burner's going, it doesn't even get hot. I think they recommend like an inch away from combustible materials. But I've had that fire raging hot. Like probably too hot. You know, it's winter time or whatever. But you can come out here. So my chimney comes out. This is the double wall. It adapts to this. Goes right into this T and then up. The fire's not very hot right now. But I mean, it was burning all night. This is cold. It's literally cold. It almost hurts to touch it. Because it's like 40 degrees out. So, I don't know why I'm telling you guys all this. It's just, you come to my channel, you can listen to music and get wood burning education. um, I guess I felt like I just kind of went off, not off topic, but into a lot of detail because I think you guys have seen me start fires before, but like I said, people usually have concerns like, oh, you can't like just leave the fire going like that. And it's like, dude, I've been heating my house for 14 years. Trust me. I've learned what not to do through experience. I've never burned my house down, but we've had some concerning moments, we'll say. So I'm very, very cautious. Trust me, especially now I have a child. But anyways, next subject. So while the fire's getting going, just want to update you guys on what I'm doing. I realized yesterday I was exporting all my videos because I export like the audio only videos, which is usually just like the thumbnail for the actual music video, and it just has the audio for the song, the cover or whatever. Because I know some of you guys listen to music through YouTube, including myself. So it's nice to just have a video that's like low quality, but the audio is there, you know, and better quality, and you can stream it. So you use less data. I try and do that if I can. I'm using a new video editor, so I haven't quite figured out how to, like I used to export it so the video was like super low quality because you're not watching a video, you're just listening to music, and the video and the audio the highest quality that I could, just so you know you're hearing it a little. I don't think those coals are going. Might have to give it a little help, the fire. But my new video editor, I haven't quite figured it out yet. So the audio is good, but the video is still like a high quality. It's like a high quality image of like, you know, whatever. So anyways, I was exporting all those and trying to get them like uploaded and stuff, and I realized two things actually. December is on Sunday. It is Wednesday right now. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We're like at the end of the year. I swear we just started this year. It's crazy. And the other thing I was just like, I kept saying in my past vlogs and stuff, the daily ones and these long forms, that yeah, I'm gonna start working on the original album and stuff. And it's like every day I turn around, I'm like, oh wait, I got stuff to do for the Christmas EP. I was talking about trying to get like on mainstream radio. I was asking, I put feelers out there like, do I know anybody? Is anyone seeing this that's a radio DJ? A few people actually